All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So this is a viewer request group. We're going to look at INBS, AVTX, and then Mullen. All right, so starting with this one, okay, this is a really interesting chart, and I'm actually excited to talk about this one. All right, you have a beautiful little gap right there that was just ready to fill. You have a whole mess of red that was just ready to fill. You have some nice spacing between moving averages. You've got MACD and RSIs doing good things, with the volume doing good things, right? Like there's a lot to talk about on this one. All right, and you know, I've been saying it, there are silly movements in the market, right? Like you hear me say it all the time, don't let like a silly move kind of sway your strategy. This right here is an example of a silly movement that, look, nothing's guaranteed, but yesterday's really nice move, and we'll talk about, I'm going to talk less about the 92% that yesterday gained. You can see the number up there change, right? But yesterday for me is less about the 92 cents and just the overall strength, all right? The next thing we're going to talk about is AVTX. So AVTX did drop some earnings. I'm seeing a bit of a mixed bag of reviews. I'll give you a couple general thoughts. You know you're not here to listen to my thoughts about earnings, right? The moving averages are not looking good there. And I think what should have been an earnings save is now kind of are we going to all-time low worry, right? And then Mullen is what happens when you lose your all-time low support. Today was a bad day, and today was, I mean, exponentially driven by losing that all-time low support. All right, so we'll talk about all that and more, but before we go any further, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. I've never covered this one, so I will probably draw some lines here. Yeah, I do draw manual lines, and then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, especially if you can share the video, because for real, I am not that good at that. All right, so let's get into it. And INBS. I will be honest, I have absolutely no idea what this thing does. One thing you'll actually hear me kind of say, I'm a little worried about like trading medical stocks. Like when I see the like healthcare sector, medical devices, you know, when I see the word bio in the company name, I'm always a little bit worried, because again, like the medical stocks are just a little crazier. All right, that's a very personal opinion. All right, getting into the actual technicals. All right, there are 2 really big things I want to highlight. After this day ended, so on Wednesday 11/8, all right, there really was, and I genuinely believe this, feel free to disagree with me, but on Wednesday the 8th, excuse me, there was nothing, there was no real thing that would have actually signaled, hey, the next day, Thursday, is about to go up 92%. Now, go. You know what I mean? I do believe, and that's what I'm going to talk about, Thursday gave us a really good signal to believe that there was going to be some good money made today, and today was still a nice, decent 32%, all right? Let me start with this, all right? So going into Wednesday the 8th, look, this stock has been under all 5, dude, this thing's been under all 5 moving averages since it did a reverse split back in February of this year, basically right here, February 10th. It's I mean, literally been under all 5 with a couple days over, couple days over, couple days over, couple days over, otherwise months and months under, okay? When we get to, like I said, Wednesday, what did it do? The exact same thing it's been doing, staying under the moving average, staying under all 5. Like, there was definitely a volume pop, right? You can see this was 6.4 million. The day before, damn, was only 400K. That's literally more than a 10x spike. Maybe someone will disagree with me and say, hey, the volume might have been a reason to go. You know, again, I'm my sincere opinion. Wednesday, there was nothing that screamed get ready to run. Okay, Thursday is a real interesting day, and again, I'm focusing, like, look up here when I click on the candle, right? You can see this Thursday made 92%, okay? I'm focused less on the 92% and I'm focusing on a couple things, all right? The first one, and you can see it in the box over there, okay? We open at 36 cents and go all the way up to 44. Roughly speaking, 15 cents is about 50%. So to go from like 30 at the middle, look, going from 30 and change to 40 and change, adding a dime on a stock that only had 3 dimes, like, most people actually had a really easy ability to make 33% on this day. This was I love a day that opens down here and goes up here. That's strength, okay? Look where it closes. All right, I'm going to draw a line right there. I'm going to delete it though, okay? It actually closes over the only 2 green candles, right? As I zoom out, like, there's nothing. And what that means to me is there are no more resistance. When you see me draw lines, I always draw my lines on the green ones. I don't draw them on the red ones, right? So if you're over and you can see it like this, like there is some nice, like this day, like, yeah, that was 44 cents. This day right here closes at 43 cents, the green number on top, right? So we were above this and we fill so nicely. Like, we literally run all the way to the 50 moving average midday, right? Like, just no resistance is a beautiful thing. The fact that we closed here really made a good amount of sense that we were going to come up today. Okay, now I don't like today as much as I liked yesterday for the exact same reason, right? This one, look in the box over there, opens at 65 cents and goes all the way down to 58. Doing some quick math in my head, that's definitely, it's more than 6 cents for sure. More people today lost 10% than they actually made some money, unless they knew what to do with this candle, right? So this day made me confident that this was going to do well. This was not a good day, and I already see it. We're going down after hours, right? Now, you know, I generally say, hey, I'm not going to let after hours kind of fool me. That's a pretty big drop. That looks like an extra 10% drop if I'm doing some math in my head really quickly. Looks like 8%. Yeah, no, more than 10%. We go from 32 to 21, right? That's a little worrisome for sure, okay? I can see us coming back to this 44 cents. I can actually even see us coming down to 40 cents, all right? It must hold 40 cents. Otherwise, we're basically going to come back to the 8 moving average, which, like, if I had to guess, will probably come down at 34 cents. Again, you know, I don't know the math behind these lines. I'm just kind of seeing the thing go like this. Makes sense that, hey, come Monday morning, it'll probably come right here, give or take, right? So I would not be surprised 44. I would not be surprised at 40. I would not be surprised at like 34. Those are my basically 1, 2, 3 down. If we can make our way, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you, right? I guess, yeah, I would set an alert. What did we close at today? 58. I'll set an alert for 59 cents. All right. Again, an alert is not immediate buy notification, but it's definitely a, hey, come check it out. All right. If we can get over 59 cents, maybe there's a reason to believe we'll retest 74. If we can get over this 50 moving average, the next line I would draw is basically that right there. And that's essentially going to the 100 moving average and going from 70-ish cents to $1.40-ish cents. That's a 2x move right there, right? So a lot can happen if this 50 moving average breaks. Again, don't forget what I just said. Since February, right? February 10th, we've essentially been months and months and months and months and months under all 5 moving averages, right? The crazy thing is, I mean, just look at it. These 2 days have been the highest volume days in the entire INBS history. Okay, it looks like there's one little outlier right there, right? That thing. There's another little baby one right there that kind of matches this first one right here. Nonetheless, this is just some crazy volume. I honestly don't know what the news is. I'm just kind of looking at this gap fill movement, really, right? So again, I've given my numbers down, I've given my numbers up. Overall, I'm going to kind of say what I started this with. For me especially, right, like this really is a personal statement with not a lot of fact behind it, but I actually find these medical stocks, these biotech stocks, these like I'm looking for the FDA to approve my medical device or medical, like anything medical. Oh man, I actually like shaking my boots a little bit. They're tricky. They actually are. All right. Where are we on the weekly? Oh, interesting. Oof, man, look, two things are interesting. Number one, this 149 line is pretty much lining up with the 20 moving average, sitting at $1.45 if you're looking at the box over there on the side. Today's Friday, the weekly candle is over. We are above the 8 moving average. All right. We've closed over it there and failed, closed over it there and failed. We've closed over it before. This is definitely a really interesting candle. But hey, I mean, in a lot of ways, look how low that RSI got. RSI was 6. Damn, how low is this one? 3, right? So, oof, man. What's your 50%? 36. I mentioned 34 cents. I know that, right? So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we come down to 36. I wouldn't be surprised if we run to $1.49. It's a crazy shift. And again, this 75 cents is kind of that like, which way will it go point? You know what I mean? So INBS, again, I don't believe Wednesday would have gotten you ready for Thursday. I do believe Thursday could have been a good signal to say, hey, hold overnight and filled most of that gap. And again, makes sense that we stopped at the 50, right? So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, we're going to come to AVTX. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe, you know I'd appreciate it so, so much, all right? Interesting things happening on AVTX, all right? And sadly, the interesting things aren't fantastic things happening on AVTX, all right? On the last video I made, I don't remember when it was earlier in this week, I had asked, hey, when are the earnings coming, right? It looked like I saw some headlines from earnings dropped yesterday, all right? As I'm talking, I'm actually looking at my phone to start looking up. Okay, so I see Avalo had dropped, had actually beat earnings per share. And I will tell you right now, I am a fan of beating earnings per share. I actually personally think if you can beat earnings per share, it's a little more important than your revenue numbers, all right? They missed revenue numbers, okay? And they actually missed, they missed decently. I will say that on the revenue. However, they actually beat the earnings per share by a lot. And I'm a little surprised that that earnings per share news didn't overshadow it. But hey, I think maybe this thing, for lack of words, needed a perfect earnings release to get over some moving averages. I'm going to delete this line. This is definitely a very insignificant line at this point. There's no need for that right there. I also see this, so I'm going to talk about the 100 moving average shortly, right? But look, I've been saying on the last few videos, 14 cents is what we needed to do. There was a nice little excitement as we made the wick to the 20 moving average, right? But obviously I need the candle to close over it. Obviously I was saying the 50 moving average. There were hopefully you didn't get too fooled out on this 11-8 candle, all right? What am I seeing immediately? Man, we are once again back at this line. And what is that line? That is the all-time low support line. As I go into the weekly, you can see it a little easier. Like, there's not much else after that, okay? My problem with this line is now we've hit it once, we've wicked it, hit it twice, we've now wicked it again. I don't know how much more strength this line has, all right? It did a real nice save here. It did an amazing support bounce right there. Hey, it did a real nice bounce right there too in some ways, right? It gave it a nice little week and a half elevation. I don't know how many more times we can hit this line and go back up, right? And what am I seeing? I'm seeing an 8 moving average going down and down. I'm seeing a 20 moving average going down and down. I imagine these two have been going down enough to where now this 50 moving averages want to go down and down. And then one more thing, look, this is now starting to come down and down really hard, right? So for a while, the goal was, hey, break the 8, go to the 20, break the 20, go to the 50, break the 50, go to the 100. And yeah, I wanted to break the 50 and go to the 100. I wanted to, right? I obviously said, don't get too cocky, don't think over 20 and 35, but yeah, somewhere, and I'm human too, baby. Back of my head, I was thinking, let's break the 50, go to the 100. The break the 50, go to the 100 is a lot less than it was. It now makes me way less optimistic that we'll break 35. Again, I don't know the math behind these lines, but that's a super devastating, like, I am assuming come Monday, like that's essentially the slope, right? Like come Monday, we're probably going to be at 22 cents. Come Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll probably be around 19 cents on that 100 moving average. And I'm then now going to find it even harder. I'm then even going to find it harder to break the 20-cent line, right? Like I'm so worried that we're going to fall below 9 cents. I'm so pessimistic about this 35-cent breaking. I do believe the 100's going to fall under that 20-cent line sooner than later, like literally in the next couple days sooner than later. Because again, like just look how drastically it's been moving, right? Like that's what happens. This thing did it as well, right? This thing did it as well. This thing did it as well. Like eventually the gap kind of does its thing with the math, right? There is more reason to believe we're going to lose 9 cents. And I always say this, when you lose all-time low support, get ready to lose 20%, then get ready to lose another 20%, and so on and so on and so on, until for almost no reason at all, that the hand of God comes down from heaven and grabs you, all right? No offense to anyone more religious than me, but like it literally takes a miracle to stop the devastation of going down and down and down and down all-time lows. Losing 9 cents will be bad. All right. And the saddest part of, I think, the whole thing, now look, again, this is a bio something, right? So whenever I see bio stocks, I'll look at the S&P 500. It's been crushing it. Okay. I will look at the Dow Jones, sorry, DJ 30, Dow Jones Industrial. It's been crushing it. I'll even actually look at NASDAQ because in a lot of ways, you need some sort of technology to make, medicine work, right? It's been crushing it. When all three are doing well, but the stock that you're looking at isn't, that's worrisome, all right? I know there are a lot of passionate people that are holding the stock. I am not here to spread fear. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. Like I try to never use the words buy and sell, right? I would be so worried if this breaks, loses down. And like I said, as this 100 moving average line goes lower and lower and lower, it makes it harder to believe that we're going to go higher and higher. You know what I mean? I would still, I guess, say, yeah, if we can get into 13, 14, again, the expectation would be we'd go to 20 cents from there, right? But it's just seeming harder to believe that we'll break over 1, let alone 2, let alone 3 moving averages for me to get to that 14-cent number, right? So, hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions if they're different. I'll flash the weekly real quick, but yeah, the only reason I really wanted to show the weekly was to just stress that, yeah, this is the last line between, stock history and all-time low black nothingness, right? So, hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions, all right? Otherwise, let's get into Mullen. Man, Mullen, this is not what I expected to happen with Mullen. There are a few things that are immediately jumping out, all right? The first one I got to talk about is this line right here, this 22-cent line that was drawn on the bottom of this one big candle. All right. As I zoom out and I zoom out and I zoom out, you can see this is the last line. This is the all-time low support. And I always say it, when you lose all-time low support, I'm ready for it to lose 20%, then 20%, then 20%, and in a single day. On the day, because it looks like we start. You can actually see it. We lost it yesterday, and today we basically confirmed it, right? But on a single day, 12%. And believe me, like this is telling me the worst is not over yet. It isn't, because our RSI has gotten as low as 12. We're still living up here in the 40 something. Like what we basically do, like look at this thing. We go low RSI, come back up to here. Low RSI, go even lower. Once we're too low, we'll go right back to where we were. You can see it pretty much lines up with the average. And then we're going to get ready to come back down again, right? Like volume is now starting to pick up. It's losing all time. Looks like it's down another 10% after hours. Oh, it went up. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's up 10% after hours. That's good. You know I rarely care about after hours, right? But yeah, it looks like it went up 2 cents. Yeah, 1 cent. I don't know. Whatever. Regardless, I don't see this being the end of it. I actually see this, like I said, it's hard to believe more is not going to come. The next thing I want to talk about, look, you get a doji on the end of the weekly, all right? And there was a doji on the basically start of the week right at the 20 moving average. You always hear me say, if you get a doji right on or near an important line, for example, a moving average, the day after is generally pretty indicative of what the truth is. All right. We were making a nice little move up. And if you've been watching my videos, I've been saying it, this entire stock revolves around the 20 moving average. We get to it and fail, get to it and fail, get to it, hold it, but fail, get to it, hold it, but fail, kind of, get to it and fail. Like, we've been rejected by this 20 so much. And look, 1, 2, I mean, you can count this as like 5 or 6 or 7 on its own. Like, we've hit so many times. I'm actually shocked that it never broke. All right. And man, this doji followed by just the bad candles behind it. And again, I don't know if you watched the AVTX thing, but one of the look, Mullen is a NASDAQ stock. This is an EV. This is as tech as it gets, right? When you look at NASDAQ, all right, the NASDAQ composite, and you see it flying from the 30th through today, all right, when you see that, but you're holding a tech stock that is doing that, something's not right. And it's the stock. You know what I mean? Like, this should have gone up with the market. There were so many stocks that were. And like, oh man, it's horrible. And one more time, when you lose all-time low support, I'm ready for it to lose. So what do I expect, right? At close of the market, this thing is at, I'm ready for this to lose another 4 cents. So that would take us to 16. From there, I'm basically ready for it to lose another 3 cents. And that would take us to 13. If I had to guess where the next recovery point's going to be, I would guess around 13 cents. Just a guess, all right? But bad things happen when you lose all-time low support, and yeah, the bad's not done here. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, you know it. I appreciate you so much.